It had been a long night that nearly ended in small-town royal murder. Justified. "Here's a good one," I said, scuttling past assassinations and into bloodless crimes. "The Gardner heist. No one dies, but there is a massive unsolved art theft." He chewed his lip, then nodded. "The wife does think I need a break from slashers." He chuckled and zipped his cane through the air for emphasis. I left him browsing the stacks, the book tucked under his arm, and took the long way back to finish up with my woodhouse. Nick and I had gotten unbelievably lucky with this Airbnb, which allowed its tenants to live in a flat above the bookstore and run the business for the duration of their stay. It was typically full up years in advance. There are a lot of people in the world itching to play bookseller for a week, but there had been a last-minute cancellation. So after 3 weeks of skipping like pebbles across England, putting as much distance as we could between ourselves and the mess we'd left behind in London, we'd found a sanctuary, a short-term rental of what our lives might have been like if he'd been born plain old Nick, lover of bad snacks and worse TV, rather than Prince Nicholas, future king. I ran my fingers idly across the spines of the books I passed. My twin sister, Lacey, had always hated used books. She wanted everything brand new. Born into this world for her alone to make her mark on it. I'd never minded a little scruff. I liked that used books brought with them their own history. Every dog ear, every stain, every crease. Maybe a book was slightly faded because someone had left it in the sun on their honeymoon. Maybe page 98 was turned at the corner because it contained a glorious insult or the perfect romantic turn of phrase. Maybe the person who'd highlighted nearly every line had graduated at the top of her class. Secondhand books could have lived in tiny walk-ups or hotel rooms or the White House, or here, even in Balmoral Castle itself. Each book was a mystery, its secrets hidden in plain sight. Kind of like me. Most shoppers in Wigtown, known officially as Scotland's national book town, were so immersed in its bookstores that they barely looked at the human beings working in them. No one appeared to notice the beauty mark that to me seemed so obviously to be made of eyeliner. The fact that I could see the register better if I looked over, rather than through the lenses in my matronly frames, or that I was, appropriately, wearing an actual wig. And whenever Nick joked that there might be a village somewhere called Booktown that specialized in wigs, which was often, no one realized they were laughing politely with the second in line to the throne. The store itself was part of our disguise. My elderly murder aficionado eventually met me at the register with my recommendation and a couple of grim offerings from creepy French murders. Historical. I rang him up with the promise to set aside anything else obscure that came our way. "Much obliged, miss." He peered at me expectantly. "Margot," I said. He touched his hat. "Name's Duncan," he said. "Remember me to your husband. He helped me find a very naughty bodice ripper yesterday for the wife. Best recommendation of the year so far." "Ah, so you're regular here," I said. "Too right. This shop is like a teleprogram. New every week," he said. "You wouldn't believe the variety. Just last month we had a Danish lass who'd left her fourth husband when she found him shagging her second husband." He wiggled the twin thickets above his eyes in gossipy glee. "Sounds like this place is a book in itself," I said. "Maybe you should write it." "Not enough murder, lass." He studied me. "What brings you here? Don't suppose you're on the lam." I held a neutral expression amid a flutter of nerves. We'd sketched out a story, but this was the first time anyone had looked me square in the face and asked. "Steve left his job," I said. "We've been traveling. He's looking for inspiration, and I'm—" Duncan cocked his head and waited. "I guess I'm looking for inspiration, too." I shrugged apologetically. "I hope our chapter in your book isn't too boring."